Today we are going to be doing an in-depth review of the RAIDMAX Alpha Prime. So the RAIDMAX Alpha Prime is kind of in between a full tower and a mid-tower case, as it's a little bit bigger than a typical mid-tower case, but it's also a little bit smaller than some full tower cases I know. So it's kind of in a sweet spot there where it's like a perfect size, where it's not too big but not too small. Anyway, what I love most about this case is actually how it comes with 3 RGB LED fans that are in the front, as you can see on the right. Now, what is really cool about these RGB fans is that they actually come with a remote where you can change the color directly from the remote. You can turn them on and off. You can change the speed of the fans, and you can do a bunch of other stuff, which is pretty cool. Now, you can also change the brightness of the LEDs on the fans themselves, and there's also a setting called Static Color Adjust, which I am not too sure what it does. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of spare parts like a motherboard and a power supply to put inside of this case and build a computer inside of it so that I can turn the fans on and show you that they're RGB and stuff, but just take my word for it. Look it up online if you don't believe me. They are RGB, and I'm sure most of you know what RGB fans look like. It's just like rainbow colors and whatnot. So the second thing that I love about this case is the fact that both the front of the case and one of the sides of it are made out of tempered glass, which you can take on and off to access your components or just look inside your case, and it just makes the case look absolutely amazing. Now, these side panels could be easily taken on and off with the thumb screws that are provided. You just basically unscrew them. You don't need a screwdriver or anything. That's why they're called thumb screws, and there's 4 on each panel. Really easy to get off. They come up with these little rubber grommets on them too. Didn't actually film that, but it's very convenient. Now, the RAIDMAX Alpha Prime can actually support 2 2.5-inch hard drives and 1 3.5-inch hard drive. However, the only problem is I believe the 3.5-inch hard drive has to go in the slot where the optical drive would normally go. But if you don't need an optical drive, then you're all set and ready to go. Now, as for the graphics card, the height of the CPU cooler and the length of the liquid cooling, which the case can support, it can support a 390mm graphics card, a 175mm high CPU cooler, and a 360mm liquid cooling system. So one thing that I do really admire about RAIDMAX and the construction of this case is the fact that they kind of snuck in this advanced cooling system. And I didn't even know it at first glance, but basically, since there's the solid glass panels, air can't get through them. So they added these little holes behind the front glass panel which allow air to escape on both sides, and they kind of did it with the side panel too. So on top of the 4 fans that this case comes with, there's also the filter on the top, the magnetic filter, which you can just take off and slap back on in a half a second. And the little holes above and below the power button, the holes on the bottom of the case, the holes on the back where the I/O shield will go. This case has really, really good airflow, and I don't think your components will be overheating. So overall, I'd have to give this case a 10 out of 10. I mean, I can't really find anything that I dislike about it, anything wrong with it, anything else that it actually needs. The only thing that's a little unfortunate is that it only has 2 drive bays on the bottom, and it just has that third one on the top, which is meant for an optical drive, but you can still put a hard drive in it if you don't need an optical drive. That's my only real criticism, and I'm not going to even deduct any points for that just because this case is just beautiful. The case costs around $80–90 depending on where you buy it online or maybe at a retail store, and compared to most other cases out there, that's very cheap. To get this type of quality, these glass panels, to get the 4 fans that come with this case that are RGB LED, I mean, you're talking $150 plus. I don't see any other cases out there that are this cheap, this high quality, and it has to be a 10 out of 10. I can't give it anything less than that. And to be honest with you, I don't know why a lot of people aren't using RAIDMAX as their case company for budget bills and whatnot, because you can get an extremely high quality, beautiful case for low prices. So if you haven't heard of RAIDMAX, go check them out. See if you like their cases. So again, 10 out of 10. Good job, RAIDMAX.